All right, let's talk about COVID-19, and let's talk about how things have really changed since the month of March. And with that, we've seen not just a ton of small businesses get killed off here in Memphis with some of the rulings that have gone on, but also big businesses are starting to have to reorganize. And joining us this morning is bankruptcy attorney Reed Allmand. Reed, thank you for joining me in Memphis. How are you?
Hello, good morning.
I appreciate you joining us today. So, Lord & Taylor, one of America's oldest department stores, I mean, they have been through, historically, they've survived a lot of tough times. They're just one of many companies that are looking to reorganize. What's going on, and who else is looking to head to court with this?
2020 has been a rough year for retailers. I mean, there's over 25 major U.S. retailers have already filed for bankruptcy this year. Big names that people know, like JCPenney, Neiman Marcus, Pier 1. So a lot of people in that industry were struggling before COVID happened, but COVID really did push a lot of people over financially and push them into Chapter 11.
In which I guess some companies which already had a robust maybe online presence, maybe that was helpful in a way, but for those that still rely on brick and mortar, and also, those companies that really depend on people being at work have been hit extremely hard. But I know I guess speaking of Lord & Taylor, they've been around since like the early 1800s, like 1826 or something. And now here we are, almost 200 years later, and it's a pandemic that drags them into court.
It's rough, because they were founded in 1826, and last year they closed their major location, the 11-store building on Fifth Avenue in New York, and sold to a French company. But even the French company has not been able to turn around the brand. I think you're absolutely right. The stores and retailers that relied on foot traffic at malls with people being out, and Taylor Brands, for example, who owns Men's Warehouse and K&G Company, all those folks, people aren't going to work, so they don't need suits and professional attire as much as they did pre-COVID.
That's a great point. I mean, people are being can dress a little more casually in the workplace with the WebEx, the Zoom meetings, and yeah, I mean, it has changed a lot of things. Now, I know on the flip side, on the positive, some businesses have sprung up out of necessity and have thrived. But, again, a lot, and I would assume a lot of businesses, no matter how big or small, don't have the cash on hand, or nor would you normally plan for something like this, right?
Absolutely. I don't think anybody could have planned for this, but many of these retailers were already, going, month to month anyway, without any kind of reserve. So Chapter 11 is a great way for them to get rid of some of that debt, get additional refinancing, and hopefully a lot of these brands will emerge from Chapter 11 stronger and continue to thrive, post Chapter 11 filing.
Sure. Now, you mentioned some of the suit companies. Are there any other big ones that have been talking about maybe just kind of teetering right on the edge that you've been keeping an eye on?
Yeah, nothing really comes to mind at the moment, but I think that you could probably just look at a mall directory and throw a dart, and you would probably hit somebody who's thinking about filing.
Yeah, because in some of these malls, you could fire probably a cannon through there, and the cannonball wouldn't hit anybody at this point. That's the sad thing for sure. Reed Allmand, thank you so much for joining me on Memphis Morning News. Appreciate your insight. Please don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you back on sometime in the near future.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, there's Reed Allmand.